I'm Mason Maddox, back with another installment of Audio Architecture. So let's say you figured out which mic you want to use, where you want to put it, and what you need to plug it in with. The next step is finding signal flow. Now this place is pretty unique, but it works just like any other studio. It's all one big chain of inputs and outputs. Let's break down the signal equation real quick. We're going to start with the most common scenario. This will be the most affordable way of recording. The most basic way of capturing sound is through an audio interface. Say you maybe only have one microphone. How would you get signal from that mic to your computer? All you need is an XLR cable connected to a microphone. Then take your audio interface and connect it to your computer via a USB. In most cases, the USB cable connected to your computer will power the audio interface. In others, you're gonna need an external power source for that audio interface. If you're recording an instrument, use a 1/4-inch cable. Other than that, you're ready to record into the interface through the built-in preamp. Once you get your interface connected to the computer, you're ready to send some signal. You can find yourself a nice audio interface for around $100, maybe $200. Let's say you want to record more than one instrument at the same time, and the audio interface you have is only 1 or 2 channels. What do you do? From commercial studios to home studios, you'll most likely see one of these patch bays around. Patch bays act as the heart of any studio, pumping signal to all the other components and pieces of gear. Let's take a look at some of the stripped down elements we've got here and get to the bottom of why you would need something like a patch bay in your studio. There are many reasons why you would use an audio interface. However, when you're working as an audio engineer, it's important to understand how to use a patch bay. So, sound travels into the microphone and gets converted into a signal. That signal travels out of the microphone and into a wall plate. Follow the signal flow, and you'll find each wall plate output connects to the patch bay. You'll see the wall output represented at the top of the patch bay. Signal flows top to bottom, and at this point, the mic information needs to be converted into signal. So the wall output goes into the preamp input. There, the signal's volume can be adjusted. Usually here is where gain is added to a signal and becomes amplified signal. From here, you can route signal to various processors, like EQs and compressors, and even send audio through auxiliary sends or headphones. Adding to the signal chain makes the signal flow more complex, but it offers more control over the signal and its audible qualities. Another reason patch bays can come in handy is that they're a great tool for chaining outboard gear, like adding a compressor to adjust dynamics and adding EQ to adjust the tone. Also, using different studio setups for each session is a lot easier with a patch bay. This is nice when a band comes in and wants to record all at once. Patch bays make life easy for us. If you want to be the type of engineer that primarily works in the box, meaning you mainly use software plugins, then using an audio interface will most likely be an affordable alternative to a patch bay. However, your options will be limited when it comes down to multi-track recording. Adding certain instruments like drums and other percussion can be tricky. Some studios will actually use a mixing board or a recording console to track audio, collecting all of the signal from the patch bay and routing it to each channel. This typically is the most common scenario at commercial studios. Using this way of recording could replace a lot of the devices in your signal chain. Each channel on a console has identical signal flow and chain. You can even modify or rearrange the signal flow on each channel. A recording console, like all other audio devices, has inputs and outputs. These consoles have a ton. You won't often see a mixing board or recording console without a patch bay. Every channel strip includes a preamp, a compressor and gate, filters, an equalization section, and auxiliary sends. Most patch bays include wall outputs for microphones, mic preamp inputs, outputs to the recorder/digital audio workspace, inputs to recording devices, auxiliary sends, inputs and outputs for inserting processors in the signal chain, inputs and outputs to other hardware signal processors in the studio. I personally enjoy working with many different kinds of tools and pieces of gear. I know for a fact that I'm not alone. It's just all about using them the right way for us. We can use any one of these tools in at least 10 different ways. Choose one that works for you. The patch bay gives us control over the complex signal flow of any recording studio. Whether you record a singer, songwriter, musician, or group performance, having the prior knowledge of signal flow will help prepare you for finding the perfect patch in your chain. Join me next week so that we can go over the next step in this equation. Everyone needs to hear themselves when they record, so on the next episode of Audio Architecture, we're going to figure out what it takes to get the best headphone mix. Until then, enjoy yourself, and as always, thanks for tuning in today.